Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, welcome. I'm Bonnie, Old Soul Mermaid. Well, if you've been on my channel long enough, you know that I'm a huge fan of Maree Bento's wonderfully magical and beautiful oracle and tarot decks. Well, today we are going to be unboxing her brand new, hot off the press, 3rd edition of the Antiquarian Tarot. This is a limited print run. Now in this video, we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison with this brand new edition and the older edition that I have, which I believe is the 2nd edition. We're going to see what's changed, how many of the cards have changed, if the production value has changed, and if the book has changed. Now, as you can see here, Maree has wrapped everything with wonderful care, as I've experienced in the past before. And already I can see some obvious changes. Here is another look at the book, which is so wonderful. And I think this is where we're going to see the least changes. It has a beautiful brand new padded pouch like her older edition had, with a beautiful purple interior. Just gorgeous. Beautiful linen cardstock, very pliable, and as you can see here, it's the same size as the yellow box RWS card. All right, so I'm going to try to cover everything in this video, answer all your questions. And with that, let's get to a musical side-by-side flip through of the 2 editions that I have of the Antiquarian Tarot. And I'll meet you on the other side. hope you enjoyed that musical side-by-side flip through of these two editions that I have of Maree Bento's Antiquarian Tarot. Now, I think it doesn't say on the deck, but by the time I got into tarot, it was well after 2014. So I estimate I have a second edition here. Okay, and this is the new third edition. So I think I bought my copy in 2019. So that would probably constitute a second edition. So that's what I'm going with. So if you know anything different, if you have like if you bought the Antiquarian Tarot like right when it came out in 2014 or soon thereafter, let me know what the differences are, because I would really like to know. Okay, I think first of all, what we're going to go over are the cards that have just been changed straight out, just totally different cards. Now, if you go on Maree's website, you'll see that she wanted to keep the changes to the deck at a minimum, just to keep with the original essence of the deck. But these are the cards that she totally just changed the image. But you see the background and things have basically, and the aesthetic has stayed the same. But these are the cards where the image has flat out just been changed. So she swapped one image of one person or depiction for another. Okay, so right here I have my original edition, and here's the new third edition. Okay, and you can see which ones you like better. Now, the reason for showing you this side-by-side comparison is if you already have this original, you know, the older edition I have, or maybe an earlier one, do you need to get, you know, the new edition? See, you know, how much has changed. And you can see here she's trying to be a bit more inclusive with this newer version. And here we have the Three of Cups. And I like how this has gone from the Victorian ladies, you know, drawing room to the snazzy ladies of the Jazz Age. And I love this. This is definitely, from their attire, is definitely 1920s. And so she has gone from Victorian age to the Jazz Age. So I think that's a wonderful, wonderful change. And one thing I really love about this deck, I love the texture. And do you see this old wallpaper here? You know, this green and a lot of the greens that were in Victorian and old wallpaper, they were made with arsenic, and they poisoned a lot of people. You know, people had slow arsenic poisoning because a lot of their greens, even in their clothing, when some cloth was dyed green, it had arsenic back in the day. So yeah, I think this is, oh, you know, sometimes we romanticize some of the older times, but yeah, you were being slowly poisoned in your own home and from your clothes, and you didn't know it. I don't know, you know, this is an obvious change. I believe this is a depiction in the older version of George Armstrong Custer, quite a controversial figure, so I can understand why she may have wanted to change him. I think he is in Carrie Paris's Relative Tarot too, I believe. But so this is a change for the Knight of Swords. So which one you like better, it's up to you. And also we have a change in the Queen of Swords as well. And, you know, I can't say which one I like better. It's potato, potato, you know. The crown has changed and the whole figure has changed. The Five of Pentacles has also changed. I think this one tugs at the heartstrings a little bit more. But you see again with the image has changed, but the background and aesthetic has not. You will notice that there's a slight change in the font, whereas the font here in the older version that I have is a little bit more bold. and it's a little bit more delicate here. But also you notice she's kept the glyphs and astrological correspondences the same. So that hasn't changed. Now throughout the deck, you might notice little minor changes where the image hasn't flat out been changed, but something like a background here has been changed. So this is the older version that I have. This is the new 3rd edition. So she added a tapestry. And she also added the moon at the bottom, whereas this one doesn't have it. So you'll notice minor changes like that throughout the deck. But these were the 2 obvious ones. And you can go back and look at the musical flip through carefully to see if you notice any other changes. But like here in the King of Swords, she just decided to change the crown. So you can see that's a different crown. She made it a little bit smaller. Here is a little bit more exaggerated here, but yeah, pretty much everything has stayed the same. And then throughout the deck, you'll notice, you know, different colorations. I would say overall, the older version that I have is a little bit more muted, as you can tell overall, but that could have been just a printing choice, or that, you know, just the fact that maybe she used different printers, but it's nothing that's drastically different. Okay, now to extra cards. You notice that in the musical flip through, you saw that she added an extra lovers card that you could choose from. And per her website, I believe she said that this card is actually going to be from an upcoming oracle called the Magical Child Oracle. So I can't wait for that. So she decided to add it into the new 3rd edition deck. Now, here we have significator cards. So in the new edition, you see that she added just 1, whereas in this older edition, she added, you know, a female and a male for female presenting, male presenting significators. So yeah, I probably would have liked if there were 2, you know, for male and female presenting, but you know, that's not even a quibble. It's nice that there's even 1. And I like the fact, you know, I think the fact that she is a card slinger, a fortune teller with her cards. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful addition. I think this artwork is wonderful. And I don't know, I would like to know who painted this card. Was it Maree herself? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the book. But I think this is a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. So, you know, I'm extremely happy with it. Okay, so you notice the difference in the backs. That's a big major change, and both are beautiful. The new one is a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more, it's got the vintage mixed with the modern aesthetic, whereas the older edition is pure on vintage aesthetic. But the cardstock is different. Now, on her website, this is described, the new edition, as 310 GSM linen cardstock with a black core, casino quality. And this was described as, if I remember correctly, linen cardstock. Very pliable. I believe this also has a black core. But there's something a little bit more matte to the newer cardstock. And this one feels a little more smooth. So both, you know, really good quality cardstock, but there is a slight difference to it, and I can't tell you which one I prefer. We'll do a test shuffle, but they're both wonderful. I'd say the corners, you'll notice that the corners here are a little bit more rounded, whereas the corner, she used a smaller corner rounder here. It's, you know, it's nothing, it's negligible, but they're both beautiful. I'm going to really have a hard time deciding which deck I'm going to use. Maybe I'll let you know at the end of this video. All right, so you see, these are standard tarot. This is the yellow box RWS card. So it's standard tarot size. And we're just going to give it a little shuffle. And you know, my small weak hands, I have to shuffle like this. That's really nice. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Really, really nice. I do like this in cardstock. I like it. I like it. I like it. And yeah, for small hands, you can handle it. Small, weak hands. It's premium. It's nice. Oh, wow. This is nice. So, let's bring back the old one, which I never had a problem with, and it's totally easily pliable too. I would have to say I like the new one. I like the new cardstock. It has a little bit more slip without being like super slippery. Yeah. It's a little bit easier to shuffle. Yeah. And it has less clumping. Whereas this is not bad at all. I mean, this is really good cardstock here with the original, you know, but measuring it up to this new stuff. And I don't know if that's worth it to you to get, you know, purchase a whole new deck, but I'm just letting you know my small weak hands prefers this one. But this is totally great too. So if you have this deck and you don't, you know, you can feel totally fine because this is great cardstock. But this has a little bit extra. Yeah. Okay. So yes, I do prefer the new cardstock. Pouch bags. This is the original that I have. It's a nice padded bag. It matches the backs of the cards of the older edition. And the interior is a nice, gorgeous red with a black zipper. And then we see that this bag matches the backs of the new 3rd edition, but it's got this really bright, also beautiful purple interior. The bags are made, you know, they're the same style, padded, and this has got a shiny gold zipper. So, but they are both, you know, the same type of bag. Padded will protect your cards wonderfully. Very portable, easy to carry around, and I totally love the packaging for this deck. I really, really do. I love the padded bags. You know, I kind of wish that more indie deck creators gave this option because it's unique. It's really easy to carry in a bag, but it protects your cards adequately, or more than adequately. Let's take a quick look at the book. This is my original one. This is the new edition. If you look, I would say that the older edition looks like it's a wee bit thicker. Okay. There's texture, a nice linen texture to the book of the new edition. The coloration is a little bit different. Again, this has a little bit more brown antiquing. This is a smooth, kind of like what you would call like rose petally. It's very smooth and velvety, whereas this has like a linen texture to it. Okay, so let's look at the interior and see. Well, first of all, here's a lovely picture of Maree. And so there are if you count this last page, 385 pages, and you can see the print. Okay, so let's look at the new edition. New picture of Maree with an about. You can see the size of the print. So I'd say the print is similar, but there's $339 with this back page. $339, $385. Okay, so what's different? So we have the same quotes. This is hard to do one-handed, you guys. She has the same with gratitude, though it's in a different place. Oh, wait. It's a little bit different. A little bit different. Yeah, the gratitude is a little bit different. And the table of contents. Yeah, it looks like the same for the introduction. The same things are included. It looks like the same. So I'm wondering, why is the first book thicker? All right, so we have the Fool, and it looks like everything is the same. Now I'm trying to speed read. Yeah, all the information for the Fool is the same. Now, why don't we look at a card that has been changed? So, the meaning so far and keywords and the essence. Yeah, it all looks to be the same. Yeah, it looks like the type is a little bit smaller in the newer book. Maybe that's why it's got less pages. It all looks to be pretty much the same. So let's wrap this up. Do you need both decks? Absolutely not. If you already have this one, you don't need to feel like you need to go out and buy this one. However, if you are a super fangirl and you love Maree Bento's work, you know, if you can, I really do enjoy this upgraded cardstock. You see that nothing really substantial has changed in the deck. A few cards have changed, but it's basically the same deck. There have been some cards changed for inclusivity. I think that's fun for a creator to do, to make those changes, you know, upon reflection. And I think it's a case of, you know, when you put your baby out into the world and then you see it, there's things you say, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that, you know, and so you go back and you do those little tweaks. And I think that's what has happened here. And also the fact that she has brought this back for a new set of tarot readers to enjoy. Maybe you missed out on this deck the first time. These decks, I believe, they're self-published by a small creator, but I mean, the production values are so good with these beautiful, beautiful bags. Now, if you are brand new to tarot and you're watching this video and you're wondering if you can read with this deck, you totally can. If you are learning the RWS, you can totally read with this deck. This deck also has a little bit of Thoth mixed into it, because even if you're a beginner, I think you can read with it if you work through her book. This guidebook is one of the best guidebooks out there. It is chock full of information and spreads, a little bit of background on the tarot. I believe Maree Bento's initial inspiration for this tarot, the Antiquarian Tarot, was the Albano Waite Tarot. I think she said that was one of her first decks that she started working with. So, you know, if you're a tarot historian, if you've worked with that deck, I haven't, you'll probably see the inspiration in here. But because of this book, it is so good. So, I mean, the book, and then, you know, a lot of the times you buy decks and you're not really connected with the deck, but the book is so good. Well, in this case, it's all good. It is all good. You get these beautiful cards, and I know this type of vintage collage isn't everybody's cup of tea, but if it's yours, man, this is one of the best ones out there in my opinion. And that's why I opted to get the new deck, because I always want this deck in my collection in one incarnation or another. And you know that, if you've been, acquiring decks for a while, there are some decks you get the feeling that are not going to stay in your collection forever, that you may need them for a time. But then you just know it when you get those decks that become workhorses for you, that you know are trusted friends, and you know that you always want them to be with you. And this is one of those decks for me. There's a few of them, but this is definitely that for me. And I can say that with all of Maree's decks. They work so well together. Her Antiquarian Lenormand, which I think is still available, and her Divine Muses Oracle, they all work so well together. So, make the decision for yourself if you already have this version, whether or not you need to splurge on this. But either way, it's a wonderful creation. If you're brand new to tarot and you're kind of on the fence, but you love this aesthetic and artwork, I'd say go for it, because you will be able to read with it with this book. It is so good, and I can't reiterate that enough. It's helped this tarot beginner, this tarot dunce, this person where a lot of things, trying to navigate the esoteric and the occult from a fundamentalist Christian brain. That's my background. Maree Bento has made that accessible for me, and very early on. I still have a long way to go. Okay, so I'm going to stop gushing. If you have any more questions, I think I covered everything. Put them down in the comments box below, and if you found any value to this video, please consider hitting a like, subscribe, hit that super thanks button, all of which helps this very small channel to grow. And with that, I'm going to leave you to get on with your beautiful day. Bye for now.